What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hall of Heroes B3. This is the Neostone Hall of Heroes, and you might be wondering why I have this band-aid on my chin. Um, well, that's because I got into an all-out brawl with my pillow yesterday, and yeah, sad to say it won in the end. It knocked me right the fuck out, and I went to sleep. So today I just woke up, and now I'm here to make this Hall of Heroes video. This is my team that I'm using kind of to farm it. I didn't really farm it that much because it literally like was on right after I woke up, so I already missed like 3 hours of it. I'm not going like super hard with my friend again this time. It's not really worth it. I don't think I need to raise that many Neostone agents. I'm pretty much only going to be raising Lisa if I raise one of them. Um, but the other two are still very strong. It's just not usable for me because I don't necessarily need another healer. I don't need the Wind Neostone agent to use in TOA hard. I know a lot of people do actually use him in TOA hard. Um, okay, so my team is Verd, Bethany, Miang, Brian, and Galleon. Um, I'm using this team basically as like a somewhat fast speed team. I run one reviver and then I run a healer, DPS, and then Galleon for his armor break and attack buff to speed clear. Um, the only dangerous thing in this Hall of Heroes is actually the second stage because the Lisas like to target the Brian, and when she uses her third skill with the Wind Neostone agent, or not when assassin I mean. Um, it armor breaks because the Wind Assassin has armor break, and usually the assassin wouldn't be targeting Brian, but in this case, since Brian is armor broken, it's gonna focus on Brian. Um, it's it might I'm gonna run it a few times and see if it's worth doing this. If not, then maybe I have to switch Bethany to Veramos, which will actually slow down my run quite a lot, but hopefully I don't have to do that, and then it'll be stable enough for me to keep farming the Hall of Heroes like this. And I chose Miang as my healer because, well, she has really good runes because I use her for raids, and she also has a semi cleanse. It's not a true cleanse, but it's kind of a cleanse. It can heal up Brian. It can remove his debuffs. So there's a higher chance that she's able to remove the armor break because all you need to do is for Brian to go once, and then she can use her heal to remove the armor break right after. Um, I have Bethany as my DPS because, well, Bethany has really good runes and she's on violent, and she has armor ignore. She has a small AOE, and like her first skill hits really hard and her third skill hits even harder. Galleon's just here for the buff, his third skill, just to speed up the run a bit. And then Verd's obviously for turn advantage because I kind of need to be able to get some turns and stuff. Um, you don't necessarily have to use these units. I think as long as you have the same concept, it should be fine. So what you kind of want to do is have like someone to provide you some sort of turn advantage. Verd for most cases is actually the best because all he has to do is attack people, and then your whole team just gets attack bar fills, and so it's like usable in all situations. If you use someone like Spectra or Bernard, their skills might be on cooldown, so when you like immediately enter the next stage, you might not have the speed buff. They might not be slowed down right away. So that's why Verd's very nice for autoing. You'll see a lot of people use Verd instead of any other monster for turn advantage. Obviously, not everyone's going to have Verd, so if you don't have Verd, you can always use Bernard or Spectra or anything like that. Galleon, you don't have to actually have. You can actually replace him with another support monster if you need to, but it will slow your run down quite a bit because if you don't have Galleon, I'm not going to have any armor break. I'm also not going to be able to have attack buff, which will make my runs take a little bit longer. I chose Miang as my healer, again because for the cleanse, and she has really good runes. You don't have to use Miang. You not like not everyone has Miang. You could probably just use Chasun. You can use Bella. You can use Emma or whatever. Any healer should work, and then run a reviver like Brian. But the thing is, if you're not running not running Brian as your reviver, you might need someone with a stronger heal, or possibly also have a single target heal. There's not a lot of monsters that have that. I think only Jasoon and the Fire Undone. My friend actually uses her quite a lot for like guild battles and stuff. For the heal and stuff. Kind of using her to sort of replace Jasoon. Some people use her, some people might have her. So this is generally my run. Um, I I do actually have Praha, but the reason I didn't use Praha instead of using Miang is just for safety, because I kind of need Miang's second or third skill to be able to reduce the armor break duration on Brian. It's kind of like a pseudo cleanse, but it's not really a cleanse. It's only one turn, but it is still pretty good. I'm still able to remove the armor break, because all you need to do is have Brian move once, and then she can remove the armor break. So it's still pretty reliable. And one more thing, if you want to run a revive team, to keep in mind, if you want to run a revive team, is to have them in the right order. So you probably want your most important monsters first. I actually have them in the wrong order here, because I switched devices and I just put in my team. You probably want to have your reviver place second. If I could, I would actually place your well, you can place your reviver anywhere. It doesn't really matter, but you want to place your healer, close to the front. This way, your reviver will revive your healer first if anyone dies, and then your main DPS, and then you can put your other support in the back. Or you could also, if you're relying on your support to stay alive, you can place your support over here, and then for me this should be the right order. If I could, I would place her here, but I need Verd for the leader, so I'm just gonna have to do this. We're gonna actually test this out, because I really didn't, with some more farmable teams. I actually don't have my McKean runed up, so I'm gonna have to use Brian. I have no choice. I'm gonna run another healer, maybe like Bella or something, and then I probably won't be able to have a proper DPS. I'll run someone that has armor break. Actually, my Theomars isn't rooted up. Alright, I'm gonna borrow a friend's random Theomars, and then I'm gonna run Brian, and I'm going to run someone that provides some sort of turn advantage for me. Bernard seems pretty good. Alright, so this is gonna be what I'm planning to run for my farmable team. So healers first, and then main DPS, and then support in the back. I'm not really relying on Bernard to stay alive. Vero for the leader skill, so he needs to be first. We're going to see if this works, and I think this will be a much safer team, because this way with Vermos I can constantly remove the armor break, so there's less chance of Brian dying as long as he's able to get a turn. Alright, we're gonna see how this works. It's okay for anyone to die if you're running a reviver. At the same time, if you're running a Bernard, it might also be safer, because there's a chance that the Lisas on the second stage will target your Bernard instead of your Brian. This way it makes your run even safer, because as long as Brian doesn't die, everything is fine. This should be a pretty pretty easy team. There's no real risk of dying except for Brian dying. And if your reviver is in wind, it might also be better. So if I'm running McKean and I'm running this type of support team, it might actually work even better, because McKean has a nice single target heal, so she can kind of heal back whoever's getting bursted down. And you have your main healer, Bella, here, just to make sure everyone's stays alive whenever, so they can keep healing back. And as long as your reviver doesn't die, you should be able to revive everyone. But the thing is, you need to be able to get enough turns. This way, the only kind of two ways you can die if you're running a reviver is obviously, one, your reviver dies, and two, you have too many people die too fast. Your reviver isn't able to revive them all. That's kind of the only ways you can fail when you're running Hall of Heroes with a reviver. So it's pretty important to get lots of turn advantage. This way your your reviver will get a lot of turns. It'll reset their cooldowns. They can, do more stuff. And at the same time, turns equals more heals, more cleansing, more damage, more debuffs, more buffs, more everything. So it's very important to have a monster dedicated to giving your team more turns. In this case, I'm using Bernard. In the other case, I was using Verd. Um, it's kind of different. You can speed your team up. You don't necessarily have to make your team faster or anything like that. You have to perhaps if you can reliably slow down the enemy. So Spectra is a pretty good choice because Spectra has a pretty low cooldown. If some people are using Mav might actually work pretty well as well because Mav can also reset the cooldown of Brian, which will help Brian, use his revive more often. Now Brian should have his revive ready very soon. I don't know why he didn't use it immediately, but I'm somewhat glad he didn't because Theomars is probably going to die right after again if he does. This part actually seems pretty annoying. I never actually ran it with this team. I tried it with the other team first, and it's like kind of my first team that I tried, and it seemed to work pretty well. So I don't know if this team will work 100%, but we're just gonna do this test run. It does seem very annoying because she keeps putting me to sleep, and I'm not able to really stack dots on anyone. I might actually consider running Beretta. If you're running a team that's like this slow, you might kind of run a TOA-ish team because they actually are somewhat tanky, so it's hard for you to straight out nuke them down. It's getting a little bit dangerous because I'm taking too many turns. Like it's taking too many turns to actually kill the mermaids. So there's a chance that too many people will die and then Brian won't be able to revive them all immediately. So my Bella's dead. There's only 3 people left. This is getting a little bit dangerous. This is looking somewhat like a wipe. Now he keeps refreshing the cooldown of the mermaids and keep putting me to sleep. And then they keep air bubbling each other so that the mermaid's staying alive. Yeah, this looks like a wipe. This does indeed look like a wipe. I think your damage dealer needs to be somewhat strong. I'm gonna try it again with the AoE dot monster, so I'm gonna try with Beretta. I think my Beretta is in storage. I'm gonna grab him really quick, and then we're gonna do one last test run with Beretta, and hopefully this works. If this works, then it might be better for you to use like an AoE dot strategy, kind of like TOA. So we're gonna try this again. I'm gonna put Beretta leader because Beretta is like speed leader, and then I'm gonna run Veramos as well for the dots and stuns, and then Bernard for turn advantage. I might actually run Mav instead. If I was running a team like this, I might actually run Mav. This way Mav can serve as a secondary cleanser. At the same time, he can reset the turns of my other monsters as well. So I'm going to run Mav and see how this works. Yeah, because Mav can cleanse the sleep, he can cleanse the armor break, he can cleanse a lot of things. And he can reduce the cooldown of a lot of my monsters. But the main problem right here is my Mav is too fast. Because my Vero and Bella are on like really shitty runes. So he's going to be going a lot more turns than my Vero and Bella. And he's always going to be going before, which isn't always what you want. Well, actually, it's never what you want. You want Mav to go last, because this way you can reset the cooldown of everyone. I think I accidentally stole a rune from Mav. Yeah, I think I have him actually partly deruned. And that might be why he's so squishy. But he's still very, very fast. I think he's partially partially deruned. Like he has one violent set on him, but I think I took off the shield set. That's why there's no shield. Okay, this is derp. This is too derp. I'm going to have to not run Mav and run Bernard until I ruin him up. Yeah, I didn't have him ruined up. That was really, really dumb. All right, last try, last try. We're gonna just try this. If it doesn't work, then I don't know. I'm out of solutions. You know, just gonna have to get better runes and run a DPS team, or just run a really really safe team, just like, you know, 2 heals, revive each other. Yeah, just run 2 revivers. It can never like wipe, but it will take like 10 minutes to run. If you run like 2 revivers, you can just have them revive each other whenever someone goes down. I think this is looking okay. It is quite slow though. It actually is taking quite a long time. It takes very long if you can't run any DPS. Kind of relying on Bretta's dots to do all the damage. I think Trevor might actually be a good choice if you don't have any attack buffers, because Trevor can just buff his own attack and crit. And then as long as you have a reliable armor breaker, it should be pretty good. You could also try out Trevor later. But the video is probably gonna get too long. We're just gonna see one last run to see if this is able to you know, get through it fully. So it's the same concept. I'm still running 1 DPS, but in this case my DPS is Beretta because I'm relying on my dots to do the damage. Alright, this is getting a little bit dangerous. Well, Bernard is going to fall down, but the spare stuns actually do help reduce the damage quite a lot. Because whenever you stun them, they can't do damage. So the spare and like AoE stun is a pretty good idea to reduce a bit of damage. Because you might not be able to stun them all, but you can at least stun some of them, so they won't be able to, you know, do their full damage. And then it'll give you time to heal up. At the same time, like stun is giving you turn advantage as well, because stun equals, you know, 1 less turn for them. But it is very RNG-ish, so it's not reliable. But if you have lots of it, you can kind of rely on because you know that someone's gonna get stunned for sure. Alright, resisting all my dots. But it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Oh, if you had a water-based cleanser, it actually would be pretty good. Like Kona. Because on this part, if they put you to sleep, the Fairy King will target the water because he's wind. And then your water cleanser can wake everyone up. So if you're running like Kona, that might work pretty well as well. Fire cleanser could work because the water will attack your fire. So if you're running like Village Jewel or something, could also work pretty well. Some people run Village Jewel like, you know, the damage build. I don't think anyone does that anymore. It's like a very old build. But some people still do it. The full damage Village Jewel, the one that goes like defense, crit damage, defense. That could also work. Because he could just serve as your DPS, and then this way it frees up 1 slot, and then you can kind of run the same team. Then you don't have to run Vermils, and you can run another either another nuker or, you know, another support that you might need. Like if you need to, you can run 2 revivers. If you need to, if you don't, like you're strong enough, you can run a second nuker, and then it'll make your team even faster. So this looks pretty stable. This looks more stable than my other team, because there's a lot less people dying and there's a lot more CC. So they're always going to be CC'd. A lot of the time they're going to be stunned. I have 2 despair stunners, and I have you know, I have Vero for cleanse, and then armor break, and you know, turn advantage. I think if I ran my TOA team, like my TOA auto team, the one I use to auto most of it, you I run Basalt and Spectra and Mav, it might be able to auto this as well pretty easily. So yeah, this team isn't really built to counter the Hall of Heroes, because in the past a lot of the things I would do is like I use certain elements to do certain things. Because like if I know a certain stage is dangerous, I might use a monster that's a specific element to bait them and make sure they don't attack my key units, um, or anything like that, or like if there's too much threat um, that's a certain element, I might run a different element nuker to kind of survive it. Like if they had like all all fire DPS, like a lot of risky, just like the whole stage has a bunch of just random fire monsters that might kill me. I might run something like I might not choose to run a wind DPS. I would run like a water DPS. This way there's less chance of them attacking me. Because then my DPS monster would just constantly die. So if I'm running like they're like all fire, I won't be running Lucian. I'll run some water monster for nukes instead. Something like that. Then again, I don't have Lucian. I don't have a wind nuker, so I'm just using this as an example. I do have Lucian, I just didn't raise him yet. This is taking a little bit long. Well, compared to running a nuke team. If you're running a nuke comp, it's obviously like way faster. But the only risk really is just Brian dying. I could always take out Galleon and put someone else in, but if I take out Galleon, my run does slow down quite a bit. This is pretty nice because Bella has Seize, so the light Neostone agent can use invincibility and make your runs even longer. And then since you're relying on dots to do the damage, it's always reliable. Like it's always going to be doing that damage, the same amount of damage constantly. Yeah, this looks pretty good. This looks usable. Alright, so that's pretty much it for Hall of Heroes B3. Yeah, this looks really good. This looks really nice. So you might consider running a Beretta or something if you happen to have one, or run something that has AoE dots. I don't know if people have already raised like the Water Grim Reaper for TOA hard. I haven't really farmed a lot of it yet, but I'm just gonna keep going and I'm gonna test out more teams and try to get faster runs, and hopefully I'll be able to farm quite a few. So yeah, we're just gonna do this. I'm gonna make sure order is right. Let me just put it in this order, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna keep farming this. I'm gonna get as many as I can. I think just enough for Lisa should be fine for me. Yeah, this is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or like you want to post your boxes, feel free to do that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.